Whenever I feel emotion, when I see a scene that makes me want to pick up a camera, I want to share that with people. And so the camera does that effectively for me. So I was raised on a ranch about 11 miles out of Benjamin. My dad was a foreman on a 27,000 acre ranch for 30 years. And I was raised as a cowboy, but had a real intense interest in wildlife. I developed, I don't know why, it just came out of nowhere, I wanted a camera to document things on the ranch, whether it was the dogs, the cattle, the horses. Once I was enrolled at Tech, I received a grant to study coyotes, and the professor loaned me an old Argus twin lens, but it's a 35 millimeter. But I could focus tight, and so I started using Kodachrome, and I loved color, and that got me really interested. It got my interest rolling in photography at that time. I was out here one morning in November running with my dogs. I was jogging through a dry creek bed, heavy jogging, going at it pretty hard, probably put a couple of miles down in this rough country down here. And I just felt this tap in my sternum. It was like someone just tapped you and just said, hey, hey. And I stopped and scratched it and thought, that's not normal. So 10 days later, back down there again, not doing it quite as hard, but another tap, but not quite as obvious. So I knew something was wrong. No shortness of breath, no pain, just a tap in the chest. And so I called my doctor, and he referred me to Lubbock Heart Hospital, and then they discovered that I had a 90% blockage in my left artery. One of my greatest fears, once I learned that I had the heart issue, was that I wouldn't be able to push the envelope. I remember back in the 80s, I would be climbing a mountain in West Texas to get to the mountaintop before two mule deer bucks on the other side that I knew were headed to the top. I had to beat them to the top of the mountain. And I did surprise them, and I got a cover shot for Sports Afield from it. I was afraid that I couldn't go out and climb hills and do what I normally do, carry camera gear. And I was apprehensive because it's been 55 years since I spent a night in the hospital. But the Lubbock Heart Hospital was very personal. I didn't feel like that I was just a piece of meat on the table. That people, actually the personnel there took a personal interest in me and listened to my corny comments about what was fixing to happen. And the nurses, they were just constantly, checking and making sure I was comfortable. And it was just overall, my experience at the Lubbock Heart Hospital was exceptional. And I would recommend the hospital to anyone. After the procedure, the heart procedure, I was a little anxious because, I had a foreign object in me. First time I've ever had surgery in my life. And I was wondering, what can I do? What can I not do? And so the doctor told me, he said, you go. You do not slow down. You continue doing exactly what you've been doing. Maybe the first 3 or 4 days, don't go jog in 20-degree weather. And so within 5 days, I was in South Texas on a photo shoot for a week and felt fabulous. The only way I can describe it is what I've told people that has asked me about the procedure. I said, I feel like I did 20, 25 years ago.